Um, Stupidity. I answered an ad on Craigslist, but this was before like people got murdered on Craigslist. So this was like a good 2 years before people started getting murdered. So I was flown to Florida to shoot a scene, and then that was fun, and I bought a PlayStation and paid my rent. And then they were like, if you want to do this for a job, you should come to LA. So I did, and then like I could afford a lot of PlayStations.
How many did you buy?
Like 7.
Well, I kind of wanted to do it a long time ago, and then I got scared, and I had a friend who's a photographer, and he knew some people, and so when I thought, you know, life has brought me to do porn, and I'm not gonna get any younger, he introduced me, and that's how I got in.
I actually, I've been in the industry for 6 years, and I got in it through being a kinky pervert. I was actually playing in my local dungeon in San Francisco. Someone's like, hey Rain, you should put in an application to kink.com. I'm like, I'm too tattooed, I'm not pretty enough, I don't think I'm what they're looking for, but fuck it, I'll put in an application. Because the idea of getting paid money to do shit you love and are already doing for free, I'm already doing this, but wait, you're gonna give me money on top of it? That's crazy. I put in an application to kink just because I said, fuck it, why not? And they hired me, and then they kept hiring me, and then I kept getting gigs, and then I'm like, oh, okay, sure, why not? And here I am 6 years later.
I always had a fascination with it. In college, a dear friend told me, she looked at me and she was like, you have a big dick and it's a gift and you should share it with the world. And you know, we were just kind of joking around, but it kind of put the thought in my head. And then I saw that a local company was looking for extras for a porn shoot. I applied, and they kept calling me back for more and more work, and now it's been 7 years.
I started off with softcore photos, and then I'm a little bit of an extremist, so I wanted to do something a little bit more fun, more outrageous, and I started with Girl, and then I was like, you know what, I want to shoot with like 10 guys. Like, I'm just a really sexual person, and I'm like, I love gangbangs. Like, I just love to have sex, and I consider myself a sex addict. So I'm really happy that I can, you know, it's better being addicted to sex than to drugs or alcohol. So, you know, I'm really happy that I took that step and decided to go from pictures to actual on-screen film play.
I got into porn. I met a girl at a party, and she enlightened me in the fact that if you enter into porn, you do not have to do all of the things that are possible in porn. So if you just wanted to have sex with just girls, that would be okay. And you could still get signed by an agency. And so that's what I did, because sex with girls for money. Duh.
So I was walking out of library, the Hollywood Library to be precise, and some gentleman runs up to me and says, hey, do you want to be in movies? And I know that doesn't happen anymore, so I said, what kind of movies? And he says, I think you know.
Well, once I got looked into the camming thing, I never even really started camming at all. I hadn't even cammed one time. I just went and met with someone and thought I was gonna sign up. And right after that, I realized that there was agents, there was more to it. And during this time, I was hitting on women at bars and trying to take them home and have sex with them. I was a lesbian before I was a bisexual, so even though I was dating men, my hunger for vagina was still very strong. So, but it's really hard in that time period, picking up women at the bar. I mean, they'll make out with you, but they're only doing it to like impress the boys, you know, that the girls are kissing. But for me, I wanted to take them home and have sex with them. So it became a struggle to actually find girls that could commit all the way and actually do the sex thing. A lot of times they'd come over and they'd be like, oh, I thought we were just gonna hang out. And I'm like, no, I was hitting on you. So I figured porn would be a safe, easy way to guarantee hot women would have sex with me. So that's kind of how I just fell into it. And then from there, the business really took to me, and I was asked to do more things little by little, and here I am 6 years later.
I guess I just applied to a website, and then I got tested and flew out like 2 days later. It was pretty simple.
I got into porn. I had an ex-boyfriend that really liked porn. I was not the high school slut or anything like that. Actually, I was valedictorian of my high school class. Band geek, completely non slut wise in high school. And he's like, let's take a clip of us like doing it. And I'm like, okay. So he like filmed me like as we're having sex, and he's like, oh my gosh, you look so good on camera. Would you ever think of doing porn? And I'm like, you're out of your mind. Of course, he put the little bug in my head, so I ended up Googling up an agency and sent him my photos, and they're like, we can get you some work. So flew down here, shot my first scene, and I fell in love with it. I fell in love with performing in front of the camera. It's like my high is having that camera right there. I guess I'm an attention whore.
I got into porn because I thought it's so fascinating that you can have sex with women and you don't have to talk to them. And so I kind of like, I wanted to fulfill this fetish for myself. And I basically wrote out papers, you know, hey, I want to be a porn star in Europe. It's kind of hard, you know, but then Thomas Janisch from ÖKM, he picked me up and he said like, you know what, we're going to shoot a gangbang with 5 girls and 30 guys and hopefully you're gonna win, you know. And then we just had sex, you know, for hours, and they liked my performance the best, and now here I am, you know.
Camming. I was on my free cams a couple of times, and then my first agent pulled me into a chat room and was like, here is the world, come join us. And I did, and it was amazing. I was on a plane literally the next day, shooting with Girls Gone Wild the day after that.
I fell into porn completely by accident. I work in fetish, and some friends of mine from the real world, I didn't know they were top fetish models of their day, and I introduced them to my new girlfriend, and they were like, hey, can we tie her up in a bondage video? And we were like, what's that? And they showed us how it worked, and we fell in love with it. I bought like 200 feet of rope on the way home and learned how to do it myself and never looked back.
It's funny because for a long time, really, I worked and still continue to work a lot in mainstream film and other media, and but I've always really been kind of involved in porn behind the scenes for a while for other people, directors, photographers, and just my friends. And so it's sort of a natural progression, and eventually ended up performing. Really enjoyed kind of creating the artifice of a persona and whatever. I like the meta aspect of porn, if that makes any sense.
Honestly, I found my talent agency online. I thought they were just a normal modeling agency, which is what I was originally interested in, but it turned out that as soon as they were like, oh, we have a shoot for you, I was like, okay. They're like, oh, it's a girl. I'm like, what? Yeah, I'm like, okay, whatever, I don't care. So that's all I do now. I do solos, girls, and because I had no idea what I was really getting myself into, but it's a lot of fun.